Putting Reading First in Maine, Segment 5, Instructional Framework for Comprehensive Literacy Programs.
And they got all mixed up. So now they're not in the right order anymore. Do you think you could help me put them in the right order?
How can teachers help their students become independent readers and writers? By creating an instructional framework or scaffold. Scaffolding is the act of supporting learners temporarily as they learn something new. Scaffolding is essential to explicit instruction within a comprehensive literacy program. An instructional framework for a comprehensive literacy program allows teachers to plan instruction so that they engage their students in a variety of literacy experiences with a proper level of support.
Gets.
Get.
Close.
Close.
The framework encourages teachers to use information gathered from ongoing assessment and observations to refine their instruction and better meet the needs of the students. Well-organized and effective instruction throughout a comprehensive literacy program plays a critical role in the framework's success. The components within a comprehensive literacy program require varying degrees of support from the teacher. Teachers can construct appropriate learning experiences for their students by adjusting the level of support they give them. When a new literacy skill or strategy is introduced within this framework, instruction may require full support by the teacher. As the student's understanding of this new skill or strategy increases, the amount of teacher support can be adjusted to encourage more independent performance. The 4 components of a comprehensive reading program are read aloud, shared reading, guided reading, and independent reading. Each component reflects the amount of scaffolding or support that teachers need to provide based on the reader's level of control and independence. Each component also provides an opportunity for students to learn multiple purposes for reading, as well as the joys of reading. When reading aloud, the teacher provides full support by reading while students listen and respond.
And carry with them. Yeah. And that's what it was like in the 1940s. You would?
Teachers can read to the whole class or to small groups of students. Books are usually selected by teachers, but can also be chosen by students. While reading aloud, teachers model active reading strategies and encourage interactions with students. The purposes of Read Aloud are to provide a model of fluent reading.
The miller ground the wheat into flour and put it into a bag for the little red hen.
Promote listening comprehension, oral language and vocabulary development, and awareness of text structures.
They called her Camilla Crayon, Night of the Living Lollipop.
And expose students to a variety of genres and titles.
What is? It looks like echo, doesn't it, when you read it that way, but it's echo.
In shared reading, the teacher provides a high level of support by reading the text and inviting the students to read along. Shared reading is often conducted in a whole class session or in small groups using texts that all the participants can see, such as big books, charts, overhead text projections, or individual copies.
Read with me.
She hangs up the stockings. She hangs up the shoes. She wrings out the paper and hangs up the news.
The purposes of shared reading include demonstrating how print works, explaining features of the text, systematically and explicitly modeling how to apply reading strategies and skills to written text, such as decoding words, comprehension, and word meaning.
Those words look very similar, don't they? Sh, erts, sk, erts. They have a lot in common. So when we're reading, we're going to have to be very careful to look all the way through the word, right?
And providing opportunities for students to participate as readers and to build fluency.
Mother duck said, quack, 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 but only 3 little ducks came back. You were correct, Riley.
Okay, today's news story is, where is my caterpillar? You know what? We had a bug week at our school early in the year, didn't we? Actually, more than like a bug month.
In guided reading, the teacher guides a small group of students with similar reading skills and strategies through the reading of a text. While doing so, each student reads an individual copy of the text, while the teacher provides support by monitoring student reading and giving feedback. Typically, guided reading lessons are structured to introduce the book, provide explicit instruction in reading skills and strategies to match the needs of the readers, provide opportunity for students to read the book with teacher support, and provide time for discussion about the meaning of the text. In the following example, a first-grade teacher demonstrates guided reading. The teacher begins with a warm-up activity to help reinforce students' knowledge of high-frequency words.
Like we do with every reading group, we're going to start with a little bit of word work so that we can get our words down nice and fast. Okay? And remember, you don't erase, you just, if you make a mistake, line through and do it as quick as you can. Okay? Your first word today is where. Where is my coat? Where? If you need to check, it's right there.
Next, the teacher introduces the text by engaging students in a picture walk followed by a conversation in which students make predictions about the story. The teacher draws students' attention to story-specific vocabulary.
Take a picture walk. Look through the pictures, and we'll talk a little bit again what you think is going to happen in that story. Hudson, you got something to say you think is going to happen in the story?
Yeah, he's going to lose his caterpillar and then he's going to find it.
Prior to reading the story, the teacher explicitly reviews how to read contractions.
There are some other tricky words in the story that sometimes give first graders a hard time, so I thought we'd go over them before we get into the story. They're called contractions. It's when kind of words are kind of squished together, two words together to make one. Okay? I bet you can read this one. We've seen this contraction before. That's it's. It means it is.
Students then read the text independently while the teacher listens in and coaches students as they problem solve.
Bedside, my bed.
Bedside, my bed. Does that make sense to you, Karsten?
Beside.
There you go.
Finally, the teacher leads students through a retelling of the story.
Sean. Sean found a caterpillar. Give me more information. Who can help, Allison? Sean found a caterpillar.
In the garden.
In the garden. I need more information even still.
On the cabbage.
On a cabbage. Good job.
In an example from a third-grade classroom, guided reading follows a similar structure with a piece of traditional literature. First, the teacher introduces key words and phrases from the text by asking students to organize them to form their own version of a story.
So what I would like you to do is to cut apart each of these key words or phrases real quickly. And when you have put 2 or 3 words or phrases together that you can create a sentence out of, we'll read them to each other. And you may have to add some words, of course, to your sentence. Yes, you're right. Okay, Cody, what do you have for us?
Next, the teacher explicitly describes the structure of the text the students will read and draws their attention to features of the text.
We are going to now read the actual folk tale, okay? And before we read it, this is not a book, okay? It's a story that comes from a book of many stories. And although it's not a book, the author has included some nonfiction conventions to help us understand the topic of the story.
Students are then asked to read the first page of the text independently while the teacher provides support.
So here's the story that we're going to read. And as we're reading this story, we are going to keep our keywords and phrases right out where we can see them. Okay? Now what I would like you to do is to read page 1, right down to the bottom of page 1. Okay? And as you're reading, I'm going to come around to you. Be sure to turn this to green when you start reading and turn it to red when you're done so that I know that you've read it through once completely. All right, Eric.
Magnus knew what that sound meant. He did not like it.
After the first page is read, the teacher asks students to identify which words and phrases they explored initially were contained in what they just read. Once they've accomplished this, the students sequence the words and phrases to help them retell page 1 to a partner.
You should have who we read about. Darby, who did we read about on page 1?
Magnus.
Magnus. Now, what does Magnus do?
He's a shepherd boy.
He's a shepherd boy. Now, did the author write Magnus is a shepherd?
No.
So how did you know that?
There are key sentences and words in it that actually give you hints about who he is and the picture, too.
Guided reading provides systematic and explicit instruction in appropriate reading skills and strategies that match students' reading needs. Supplies a meaningful context for instruction of phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension at points before, during, or after reading. Provides an opportunity for students to problem solve and create meaning with connected text. And assesses student reading behaviors and application of skills and strategies. When students read independently, the teacher provides little or no support. With guidance from the teacher, students select text to read independently or with a partner, either orally or silently. The teacher observes and monitors student progress. Independent reading encourages self-selection of books at the appropriate levels, provides the opportunity for students to independently apply reading strategies and problem-solve unknown text, and promotes fluency and confidence through sustained reading and opportunities for rereading. Like a comprehensive reading program, a comprehensive writing program has 4 components: shared writing, interactive writing, writer's workshop, and independent writing. Each component reflects the amount of scaffolding or support that teachers need to provide based on the writer's level of control and independence. Further, students are able to experience the joy of writing while also learning multiple purposes for writing. In shared writing, the teacher provides full support. The teacher acts as scribe as the class works together to create text. The text is read many times by the group during the process. This activity can occur in a large group, small group, or individual sessions. Texts that are created can serve as reading resources for the classroom. Shared writing provides a model for the process of recording students' ideas in writing, the concept of directionality, and word spacing. Provides a model for how to construct a message and incorporate the mechanics of writing, and focuses students' attention on letters, words, and sounds. With interactive writing, the teacher still provides a high level of support, but now the teacher and students work together to create text and share the pen to record the text. Interactive writing helps students practice hearing and recording sounds in words and how words work, and increases spelling and sight word knowledge. In a writer's workshop, the teacher provides some support. Instruction and specific feedback guide students' writing as they become more independent. A writer's workshop demonstrates and explains the writing process, drafting, revising, editing, conferencing, and publishing. Provides students with many opportunities to practice each step of the writing process and to develop an awareness of audience and purpose as they write across content areas and genres. Provides opportunities to practice applying the mechanics of writing, such as punctuation, capitalization, and spelling. When students write independently, the teacher provides little or no support. Students write a variety of texts individually or with others. The teacher may observe and or interact with individuals or small groups. Independent writing provides opportunities for independent application of the writing process and strategies while producing written texts, and offers a chance to spell and apply the mechanics of writing correctly. Although the components of a comprehensive literacy program have been described separately, the integration of these components in the classroom should be smooth and seamless. As teachers implement this framework, discoveries and decisions will contribute to a comprehensive reading and writing program that meets the needs of individual students and ensures that students are well supported in their literacy development.